Hi, I'm Shauntra, board-certified holistic health practitioner, certified holistic nutritionist, and founder of Change Mindset Wellness. My work is rooted in one mission: to help women, especially mothers, professionals, and healers, reclaim their health by uncovering the root cause of chronic stress, burnout, and mineral imbalances. I believe healing isn't just physical, it's emotional, spiritual, and deeply personal. Whether I'm leading community workshops, virtual retreats, or one-on-one consults, my goal is to make wellness both science-informed and soul-led. This isn't about perfection. It's about reconnecting with your body's wisdom and learning to trust your healing path. So I'm honored to be here today, sharing this space and conversation.
The population are not aware of that we have access to. So a hair test is going to give you a glimpse of over the last 3 months of of your life, right? From the day you take the test, 3 months prior, what's been going on. And as you take this test every 3 months, you're able to start making those small changes, either through supplementation or through nutrition, lifestyle changes. But it's a way for you to see where to guide your body into your restoration and into your transformation journey for healing.
Okay. Wow. And so how is it different from a blood or urine test? And then, especially in terms of what it can tell us about our nervous system.
Okay, so blood work, think of it like this: surface level, because that's the liquid. But when we get into the minerals, we're diving deep into that cell, what's transferring in and what's transferring out. You're also able to determine your energy production. Are you in a state of chronic stress? Are you able to resist the stress, or are you just in the beginning stages of stress? It's also going to tell you what's happening within your gut, if you're able to absorb the minerals as you're eating them, or if you're having a blockage in your detox pathways. And then we're looking at the liver, and we're looking at the kidneys and the gallbladder.
Okay. Okay. So listening to you explain that, it really does make a lot of sense. It actually connects to what I was feeling since I got the results back, because when I went through the booklet, that came with the analysis, I found myself resonating more completely with the slow oxidation description, the fatigue, the emotional, the heaviness, and just that need for deep rest. Like, that's me. And when I was reading that, I was like, that's how I feel. And on a current daily basis, but also that's how I felt for years. So when the chart labeled me as fast mix oxidizer, at first that was kind of confusing because I didn't really feel like the results were completely, fully fast mixed for me. Like I said, I resonated more with the slow oxidization, but I can say that I have experienced the fast mix from what I read. So the more I sat with that, I realized like this isn't a either or thing. It's not like either I'm recovering or I'm exhausted. This is saying it's both, because I feel the depletion and the heavy emotions that are surfacing and the fatigue
Mhm.
and even the optimal phosphorus, right? So all of that is like a part of the same conversation of my body translating, this process in different languages, but all at one time. So
Mhm.
to me, it's like the chart is one voice, the emotions are another, the nervous system is another, the supplements are another, but the
Right.
bottom line is they're all talking to me. And,
Mhm.
I think we tend to see transformation as this experience where things suddenly start to feel better. And we're talking about a sense of healing and our health improving. But I think it's because like we don't actually really know or hear enough about what it really is. So the fact that it has more than one face, it's the
Mhm.
chemistry and the emotion. It is the burnout. It is also the rebuilding. It's all of these things moving together. And so when
Mhm.
I'm looking at the chart now, I can see the evidence of recovery, even if I don't feel that relief. So that realization was what really helped me show myself some grace, but also appreciate and connect deeper to my body, because it was like, okay, wow, it's been talking to me all this time, and now I can actually understand what's being said. And nothing else has really been able to pinpoint that level of clarity for me personally, on my health journey. So, can we talk about that for a little bit? Like, how common is it for the body to start showing measurable change before a person actually feels better?
That determines on the individual person and how your system is going to respond to the minerals once you start to take them. For instance, for myself personally, I felt a difference immediately, but that's my system, right? What are the other things I was putting into place to help boost that? I drastically made a change. I stopped eating everything my report told me I needed to stop instantly. It wasn't a, oh, I'll do it next week or I'll work my way into it. No, when I viewed my blueprint, I saw how important it was I needed to make change if I wanted to feel better, if I wanted those symptoms to stop. And then I've had people where it takes 2 months, 3 months, four. It just depends on what your system is, what level of stress your system is in, and how well you're going to respond to that detox process.
I love how you explain that because it helps us connect the dots between what's happening in the body and what we feel day to day. I think even if they don't match, because the data is showing progress, the exhaustion, and it even explains emotion. So then you have like your actual lived experience too, which is those thoughts and those aches and pains and numbness and stiffness, all of that, but it's still feedback. So that's really what this whole conversation is about, the moving from guessing to guidance.
Hmm.
We can stop guessing what our bodies need once we learn how to listen, right? Through the tools like this hair test. Again,
Hmm.
saving you time, money, energy, and effort. You get to bypass all of that with this because it gives you the language and it gives you the context. So another question I have is for someone who's hearing this and maybe feeling stuck or even they're feeling that depletion or exhausted, how exactly does understanding their own data through the hair test help them to stop guessing but actually start rebuilding?
Because it's your blueprint. Like I said, the way that I like to explain it is it's a direct reflection of you. It's not a direct reflection of you and the general population based off of a system and a chart put in place. It's telling you exactly what's happening. That's why I like to explain to people, it can be a really emotional experience when you read your results because only you know what you feel, right? I've been there. I've been in your shoes too, so I can relate. I can't say how you feel. You can tell me, but I can't feel that emotion, right? But when you have something that says, hey, if your sodium potassium keeps staying this way, you're going to have adrenal function problems. You're going to have thyroid problems. That brain fog is going to dig deeper into it. So I think personally, it creates a epiphany for people to wake up and say, okay, now I'm checking off the boxes. I can relate those symptoms and those emotions to what my blueprint really says. And now I have guidance on what I need to do to help myself feel better, release the trauma, release the anxiety and the guesswork of it. I was a nut guessing before I did my own my own hair test. I was taking all the supplements and all the vitamins and eating well, but I still felt bad. And it was because I wasn't putting the correct things into my body. And
Mm.
this is what this hair test shows you, what you actually need.
Yeah, that's so true. And I can agree or attest to that it is it's a very emotional experience once you see these results in front of you. Like, and then when, you let me take the booklet home and read over it myself, it was definitely like an epiphany. There was so much validation and just, the clarity. It was such an experience. I think so many of us, especially women, caregivers, we live in chronic stress without really realizing how that stress is reshaping our mineral balance. So, can you speak to the patterns you see most often in women right now and how they tend to show up physically and emotionally?
A lot of the patterns that I'm seeing right now are either iron is completely depleted, which we know, well, when you go to the doctor and they tell you that you are anemic, they're testing the blood level surface of what is available for your iron in your body. When you do a hair test, you're going to still see those signs that you're depleted in iron, but it's also going to show you your depletion in copper. And why that's more important, copper regulates iron. So if we treat the iron and start restoring that, if we start restoring that copper balance, then we're going to increase that iron intake for your body overall. So that's number one thing that I see all the time. And number one thing that I hear a lot of women say, my doctor said that I am anemic. Well, let's look at your hair test. Let's see what's really causing your blood work to show that you are anemic. Another thing that I see all the time is that adrenal fatigue, that burnout, that adrenal gland, it's completely gone or completely depleted. So that's that high stress level. And then another one that I see is the blockages in the detox pathways. So women are coming with a lot of IBS issues, or we have Crohn's issues, or just an unhealthy gut where they're experiencing a lot of bloat and a lot of cramping, and they don't know why. Well, all of that is hidden in your minerals. So then we attack it that way, and then we start nourishing again with your food intake.
Incredible. Yeah, that really resonates. I know some of those that you named were definitely the results on my test for sure. But through the booklet, again, it considered me to be what the fast mixed oxidation, meaning that my metabolism is moving, but emotionally, I think the last month, and specifically the past 2 weeks, it just felt like the complete opposite. Like I said, I just felt more tired, but also more sensitive overall. Just even though there were these moments where I do have energy, like I wake up vibrant and I'm able to get things done, but after that it's like I'm spent. I need a long nap, and I just have this internal longing for like deep rest. So when I read through my analysis booklet, I realized that those emotional patterns, the need for rest, the irritability, those things are actually part of the slow oxidation response. So it's not like something was wrong with my body. To me, that's telling me that it's actually recalibrating. Because what I'm learning is that these feelings are part of the rebuilding that the booklet explains so well. The data, the depletion, the emotions, all of this is connected. And again, that chart showing that my phosphorus was completely balanced and at an optimum level, that's supports why the metabolism is trying to turn back on. So to me, this is saying, like, again, when I'm sitting down reading this for myself, what's being communicated to me is like I can literally hear my body or understand my body now to be saying like, okay, we're able to move, and we're able to do our job now. But at the same time, my nervous system is still trying to catch up to that change. That's the voice that's saying, Ray, we hear what's being said, but we need to rest, or I understand what I'm supposed to do now, but I need to tell you that I'm not safe enough to do those things. And so that's the kind of experience that I was having, to where it's like, wow, this makes so much sense because of I know how I'm feeling, and I also know what I have been doing. And I think that's where so many of us find ourselves, like our body is making progress. We can't really feel or see it, or it could be the opposite. And some of us are, in that resistance stage, moving towards exhaustion or even in exhaustion before we see or feel those things too. But again, it all goes back to understanding the language and even taking the time to listen to those voices. So, why does progress sometimes feel heavier before it feels better?
Once you start to adjust the body with the proper nutrition intake, mineral balancing, you're gonna experience what they call retracing. So retracing is when either the symptoms that you used to experience or currently experience are gonna hit you really hard, or you're gonna feel more balanced depending on what's already happening with the system. When I have a client that retraces, that is gold mine, because that's telling me that your body woke up really fast and is saying, okay, wait, we need to detox. We need to go to this area. this organ needs support. Okay, we're putting in sodium. Let's absorb that really well. Even though you're fighting through the symptoms, that doesn't mean you have to stop. That means you need to keep going. Can you do things along the way that that makes that more comfortable? Absolutely. But that's the number one thing that will make you feel heavy, because if you used to experience bloating every single day and you finally had a break for 3 weeks and now you're starting a mineral program and that bloating came back, that's going to feel heavy. That's going to make you more irritable. That's going to cause more um, emotional symptoms for yourself. But you have to keep pushing through. And eventually you hit your peak and then everything starts to balance out, and that calmness and that clarity and that energy starts to come back.
Wow, that's so validating to hear, because it reminds me, I think it reminds people that, we're not failing when you feel tired or emotional, especially during that journey. But that's actually the body working things out. And it really ties back to what we talked about earlier, how, being consistent foundational nourishment can carry you through the process, even when you don't have the capacity for the big changes. So like when I think about it, for me, it feels like now my body is thawing. For so long, I was in a survival mode where everything in me was so froze, it just kept functioning. And now that my body finally has some nourishment to feel safe again, it's starting to warm up at that cellular level. And that thaw comes with those emotions and the fatigue and all, the stress surfacing, all those things that I had to shut off to get through that season I was in. So again, these conversations that I'm having with myself going through this booklet, it's like, wow, okay, my body is telling me I finally have the capacity to process what I couldn't before, and then
Mm-hmm.
actually see that in my results. So that helps me to not misread or misjudge what's happening, or even like gaslight myself into thinking that nothing is working or that I need to do more, spend more money, whatever the case may be. So
Mm-hmm.
what this
Yeah.
it's about learning the language of your own body, your own
Mm-hmm.
body, not the general body, or your own season
Your
that
own
you're in.
body.
Just reconnecting with yourself through all of this. So here, I'm gonna actually share my screen, y'all, because I think this will be really cool to see. But I want to share my actual some of my result. Can y'all see the screen? Can y'all see my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, perfect. So yeah. Uh-oh, I'm getting used to this Zoom, y'all. Bear with me. Okay. Yeah, so this is my results, y'all, and you can see over here all the way on the far right. That's my phosphorus. It's just balanced and hanging in strong right there at the optimum level, like right where it was supposed to be. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what kind of that alarm, because that stands out. Like, look at everything else. We talked about the last live, the word of the hour was depletion. And this is literally what is showing. Like, I get to see how I measure with every single mineral, every single nutrient, every single foundational thing. I get to see exactly where it's at. And so this was like, wow, this was really, it kind of started for me to understand, like, well, okay, I see how big this is. But this is the actual hair tissue report. And I know how I've been eating, sleeping, feeling, all of it. Instead of judging myself for that, this really helped me to see what my body is trying to say and to see all of this as information, because I was so nervous. You have to wait for the results to get in, and then they have to process it and then mail you so it's a period where you're waiting. And I was so nervous. I was so anxious, just waiting for the results, because I was worried. I did not know what it was going to say, but I was also excited because it's like, this is it. Finally, there's a visual to give me insight that I'm not broken. I don't need to be fixed. This is just the long term story that's been writing behind the scenes. So, as y'all are here listening, I want you to imagine what your own chart would say. What would your body reveal to you if you could go beyond the surface? Like, this goes back to just being curious. I think the right questions can change how you start to care for yourself. So yeah, just look at that. Depleted,
Mhm.
y'all. But
And
this go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry, you see your iron and your copper. I don't know if you could put a arrow over it, but that is your energy production as well. So your phosphorus is balancing you, keeping you stable right now, which is why you're in resistance stage instead of exhaustion. So if that phosphorus was lower, you would be in that next level of energy burnout. But it's maintaining you. So your body is trying to keep you sustained. Now we just got to work on your detox pathways, supplementing with some minerals, and everything will start to balance and creep its way up because that phosphorus is so strong. This is the first time I've ever seen a chart where phosphorus was not depleted.
Wow. It's incredible that you say that because again, if I'm going off of how I've been feeling and then reading through that book, to me, I felt like I was in the exhaustion stage. And the only reason that I'm not, the only thing that makes sense to me as far as why this phosphorus is where it's at is because I have been taking it for like a month before taking the test. And so this is the foundational wellness bundle with doTERRA that I kind of mentioned in our last live, where it has the your daily intake of nutrients through the greens, the essential oils, and it's made bioavailable and bioretention, meaning that you have access to it for a longer period of time. And so this is not being flushed out of your system. And this is the essential oil, the omegas, the fatty acids. It was 3 capsules, but at times I was taking I knew my body enough to have my own dosages. But then this was also, I think, what was very crucial to that phosphorus being where it was because this is that probiotic, which is the prebiotic and the post as well, and they're double encapsulated so that the minerals actually get into your gut before being destroyed by the stomach acid. There's so much science that has gone into this, and I was only taking a portion. When we started, this is all that I was given to me, and I stretched it between 4 people, me and my daughters. I stretched this between us. I had 75% of this and I split the 15 between them, based on their sizes. And I would give them this here and there, but this was like, again, one of the only things that I could control in terms of taking an action towards my health. Because again, the way that I was feeling, y'all, I know that I was in the exhaustion stage. I know, like that depletion that we're looking at if you take the test and you go through the booklet, and it tells you everything, like I know what I was feeling was not in a good place. And so again, going back to this is what we did. This is what we're doing. This is what me and my girls are taking. And I know the where the results come from, you also have supplements or they give you a protocol too. And I think that's also a great idea. But just to have an alternative, like I said, this is something that we're able to do now. And the result of it being able to see it has been really helpful to me. But as we come to a close, y'all, I really just want to honor what this conversation represents for everybody. This experience has taught me that healing isn't a single event. It's communication. It's your body, your emotions, your environment, even time and rhythm, all speaking in their own languages asking you to understand them rather than fix them. So if you're interested in any more information or resources from myself or Shauntra, you can feel free to leave your emails in the chat. And
Mm-hmm.
I really hope today that someone will be thinking differently about their transformation and they may be ready to even explore this for themselves. So before we close, could you please share, Shauntra, what you're currently working on, or, if anyone is interested in learning more about your practice, or maybe, like I say, hopefully getting their own hair test, how can we connect with you?
I will put my email in the chat, but you can email me or you can reach out to me on Facebook. Just Google my, not Google, search my name, Shauntra Osborne. I'll put that in the chat too. I am opening up my calendar this month for free consultations for insight more on hair tests. And if you have any questions, even if you want to just go over your supplements and see what you are taking, a lot of times there are harmful chemicals and toxins in holistic care as well. It's just as regular traditional healthcare. So you have to be careful and you want to make sure you're reading your labels. So those are two things that I'm doing this month because I feel like everyone should have access to affordable care and everyone should have access to just being able to ask a question. So if you're interested in chatting and going over maybe some of your symptoms that you're having, you can feel free to reach out to me anytime. And then I'll leave my information in a chat for anyone interested in more information on the hair test.
Yes, and for the recording, for those that can't see this chat, I'll include all that information in the description. But yeah, Shauntra is awesome, and this is affordable. I love that you make it accessible to everyone. So that's another thing that I would say as well, that she's willing to do the payment plans if need be, so that you can get the answers you need for you and your family. And that's also super helpful to me because this hair test has become a translator. It helped me see that the chemistry of restoration starts long before the energy, arrives. And the doTERRA Foundational Wellness Bundle has been the practical piece that made that chemistry possible for me, because it is that clean, very high quality. Because I know there's also a lot of expensive things out there that are not as, they aren't as potent because that lane is very unregulated. There's not really much that you have to do to put a label on something and sell it to people. And so I would not feel comfortable recommending anything that, one, I haven't tried myself, but also, like, I don't want to be a fraud, or give anybody any type of information that would waste their time, or put them or their family in danger. And so when I speak, and I know that when Shauntra speaks, is with integrity, and it's with a care. And so again, this bundle has done great for me, and my results show. It's something simple. It's like 2 minutes in the morning, and again, I'm splitting this with my daughters. And so in them, I noticed the little shifts in their tiny bodies with those partial doses, which again, I think goes back to the quality of the product and then the retention and all those things that goes into how they build out their formulas. But wherever you are in your own journey, I really hope that you remember or take away from today that progress doesn't always feel like momentum. Sometimes it does feel like that exhaustion as your system recalibrates. So sometimes it shows up as emotions, or whatever the case may be. It's just reminders. It's telling you that everything um, that relates to you is connected and has a voice. So I think the most compassionate thing you could do for yourself is be curious enough to learn how to listen and use tools that help you do that. Looking for sustainable steps that allow your body to feel safe enough to come back online. I think that's very crucial, because if you understand the role of your nervous system, creating safety is one of the most restorative things that you can actually do to your body. So thank you all for being here again, holding this space. A very special thank you to you, Shauntra, not just for your time, but for the clarity you bring to such a complex conversation like this. You have a gift that you can share with everybody, translating the science into something human, something that we can actually feel and understand. So, I'm a huge supporter of your work, and just the way you connect the data with the lived experience, it makes it such a powerful thing. But do you have any closing words to end before we take a moment for questions?
Yes, I love that you mentioned safety. That's something that I'm new walking into learning about creating a safe environment for yourself so that you can let go of trauma. It's super important for everyone on this call to take a time and really reflect tonight and think about those emotions that you feel and think about those symptoms that you feel and start journaling and write that stuff down, because your journaling is what that's going to lead you to your transformation for yourself. In a world where it's filled with chaos, we have to start slowing down, guys. The stress is taking over our communities and our minds. And we can't pass on the knowledge to our generations if we can't even think clear for ourselves. So please pay attention to your health. Start listening to your body. If you're not sure know how to do that, tap in with me. Let's connect. I'll guide you through some journal questions, but it's really important that we start standing up for ourselves and taking back our power. And that starts with our health.
I love it. I love it. I don't have anything to say after that. So just go right into the Q&A, y'all. Feel free to take yourselves off mute. We have quite a bit of time, so we can chat a little bit. If y'all have any questions or comments, please ask. Come on, somebody. Okay, well, I have a question I'll ask just to make it a little interactive. Like going back to this stress. If your body could tell you one thing, or if it has been telling you one thing, what is that? What is it saying? What's the one thing your body is telling you?
To slow down.
Slow down.
Slow down. I had many experiences over the last 5 years where my body or things around me that happened that told me to slow down. And as each one happened, I fought it, because who wants to slow down? We got to keep going.
Right.
But the last one, where I was in a car accident, an exit away from my home, that made me stop
Mm,
and slow down because I could have not made it home. And just a quick, fast, always on the go, 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 work, 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 got to be an overachiever. I'm not thinking clear. Even though the accident wasn't my fault, I could have left work earlier, but no, I wanted to stay later. So those small things is what really makes a difference for me, slowing down.
got it. Does anybody else want to answer? No, okay. Well, I have a question because I don't know. I wanted to check and see if it's safe first, because I also have some pictures of the actual booklet. Like, can I just share some of the
Yeah, go ahead.
paragraphs? Okay,
Yep.
cool. So y'all can still see the screen. But I just wanted to share this also. Like, these are some of the things that you'll find in your personalized booklet. Once you take this test, it tells you exactly how to read your results and what they mean, what you should eat, what you should stay away from. It just breaks it all down. And so I thought it would be cool because I would want to know, what kind of, how deep will it go if I'm looking for information. And I don't know how many pages it is, but it's a good,
Yeah.
do you know how many? It's thick, it's a lot of
Yeah.
information. And
It's
so I
about,
just showed a few pages.
yeah. Think of it as another way to, this is giving you the answers and explaining what's happening. So when you go get lab work and they come back and they say, just for instance, oh, you're anemic. And then you in return say, well, why?
Mm,
Oh, you just need to eat more iron rich foods. But that's not giving you a scope of the root cause.
Yeah.
Where the booklet, as we saw for your test, it tells you the root cause of why your iron is low and what you need to do to improve the intake of it. So it's more detailed and you get that insight versus, like I said, blood work, nothing wrong with it. Absolutely keep doing it, but that's that surface level.
Yeah. It's
And
so
then that page is the foods that you're not supposed to eat.
mm-hmm. Just saying there's so much information in there. Like it breaks every single thing down to where like I didn't even have any questions. It just is it's incredible. Very detailed.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, do you feel there was anything that did not resonate with you with your results?
No, like I said in the beginning, I thought it was conflicting because the slow oxidation and it labeling me the fast mixed oxidation. I was like, okay, I have moments of that where that makes sense, but I feel like I'm slow based off of what I'm reading. It felt slow to me, but it didn't after I understood and read more, and kept digging deeper into the book and then reflecting on, like I said, the things that I have been doing, it made sense because I think the key for me was that phosphorus. Like that just, it made no sense. And so that's what I really kept getting curious about trying to understand. And that's where I made the connection like, oh, this is showing me that this is what my body is doing now. And I don't even feel that, but this is what's happening. So,
Hmm.
yeah, that was when
And
I
I was the opposite.
really.
Yeah, my phosphorus was depleted and my calcium was elevated. But
Mm,
remember, I explained it to you. The reason why it showed that was because I was in exhaustion.
yeah,
So calcium was naturally releasing in my body to try to calm me down.
right. Incredible. It is so
Hmm.
remarkable the way that our bodies are just designed, what they actually do when you give them what they need. So, Pandy, I see you have a question. Yes, yes. Go ahead. Unmute your mic.
You think boots. You think boots.
We can't hear you.
Heavy equipment makes you well without burning smashing.
It's like I hear the background, but I didn't hear you talking at all.
Area.
No, that's so strange. Oh man, maybe you can type it in the chat and I'll read it.
Hmm.
What about now? I turned my
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Bluetooth on.
There
Because
you go.
sometimes people be like, they can't hear me. Just crazy Bluetooth. Why bother? Anyway, hey, thank you so much.
Hi.
I learned so much. So one of the things, I don't know if you mentioned this before, because one of the things I want to know is how can I get a hair test? Do I go to the doctor? And the second thing is y'all were mentioning the booklet. Like, what's the name of the booklet? Do it come along with the hair test?
So the booklet is something that I created as an overview for clients to just get a sneak peek on what the hair test was about, right? Because it could be really overwhelming and a lot of information. So I offer the hair test as part of my practice. I can either come to you, you can come to me, or I can mail it to you. Once you get it, we hop on a call really quickly and we go over the process. Super simple. I need clean hair. I need a sample from the root, as close to your root as possible, and about an inch down, in different areas of your hair because you don't want to create any kind of bald spots. It comes with a little paper scale and you weigh your hair on that. Once it dips down, we know we have enough hair. You're going to put that into the envelope and then we're going to mail that off to the lab. My information is already pre-filled out on the top. And after we have a consultation, we kind of decide what kind of interpretation you want to do. The one that Ray did was a complete interpretation. So it has
Mhm.
all the minerals and then it's breaking that down section by section, body system by body system. Um, it was a little longer this time, and I'm so sorry, Ray, but it takes about 7 to 10 business days for the lab to get it, process it, and then I get the report back. And then that's when we get together and do a consultation over your overview results.
Okay. Where are you at?
I'm in Hutto,
What's
Texas.
that? Texas? Okay.
Uh-huh.
And last
Are you out of
question.
state?
Yeah, I'm in Illinois.
Okay, so I would mail you the hair test. I would mail you the kit.
And then we could just make an appointment with the link you put on there, the
Yep,
calendar
you can.
thing.
Yep. You can
All
grab
right.
a time on my calendar and then just let me know if you're doing it for a hair test. Please fill out those questions so I have an idea, and then we schedule a call and then I walk you through the process.
All right.
Yay!
Thank you. All
Yes.
right.
And then you'll
I
have to come on.
Yeah, I also want to include too, for anyone, or if you ever know anyone who's interested in doing the hair test, but they don't have enough physical hair on their head, we also can do body hair.
I have another question. So, oh my gosh, I just lost it. Oh, okay. What type of person, or let me see how to word it. Like, how do we know if we should take a hair test, I guess?
If you have ever experienced any kind of stress, trauma, brain fog, insomnia, or gut issues, you need to take a hair test.
If you're a human being, basically.
Pretty much.
Exactly. I just wanted it on the record. Yeah. And
Pretty much. It should
yeah,
be
this
incorporated into your lifestyle, just like going to the doctor for your annuals, for your physicals. Like I said, it's a 3-month process. I have some clients that do it every 3 months, like myself or my family. I avoid going to a doctor. We do our hair test every 3 months. I adjust our diet, our lifestyle, and our mineral intake. I have people who do it once. They get it. They're on their way. They know what to do. And then I have people that come back every once in a while. So it just depends on how you're feeling.
yeah, I love that. I love it so much.
Mhm.
I was gonna say something. Oh my goodness. Does
And
anybody else have
children are
anything?
eligible. I like to put that
Okay,
too.
yeah, yeah. Yes. Children too.
Mhm.
Everybody. Shay, Kalela, y'all have anything, any comments, any questions? Okay. Um, so let's see. Yep. Well, that's all I have for us today. We have the information on how to get in contact with you, and this was such a beautiful conversation. I'm sure I'll have you back on many, many more times to come. But again, you do virtual and in person. So you're in Texas, but you can mail this out anywhere. And so
Correct.
she's the person you go to if you want a hair test. You go see Shauntra, and she will take care of you and your family. Um, so thank y'all for being here. Again, we have your emails, those of you that left them. So we'll be sending out resources and information, and stay tuned for the next one. Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank y'all. I was soaking it all in. Loved it.
Thank
Oh,
Thank
you.
y'all.
all
You're
right.
welcome.